Andy.
Tim.
How's it going?
Good. Good to see you here, Tim.
It's good to see you, too.
And it's good to see you folks out there in internet land. Hi, I'm Andy Rush.
And I'm Tim Owens.
It's glad to be here. Glad to have you here.
It's back to me and you, and I feel like it's going to be this way for a while, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, and I'm going to try to take some afternoons off, too, so it might be just you. But though, on Thursday, everybody's going to be gone but me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to come up with something on my own.
You will. But yeah.
I'll probably just do reruns.
Yeah. Jim, our big toe, is gone again, and I'm starting to think he's less of a big toe and more of a bit of a heel.
He's kind of a pinky, anyway. Yeah. Pinky toe, I think.
One of those, like, extra members that you don't quite need.
Is that getting to the whole Grant Potter thing?
I don't know.
The typo that we're talking about? Let's not go there.
Let's not. No.
So what are we talking about today,
Tim?
Well,
I wanted to talk a little bit about what Purdue University is doing. They've got a real big push in their information technology department for doing a lot with mobile apps, and they're doing a lot of research and development and actual, like, real development of applications that they're using both on campus, and it looks like something that I'm hoping that some of that stuff's going to get released out to the rest of us to play around with.
Yeah, I had seen this, I don't know how many months ago.
Yeah.
They were just getting this underway, and I don't think they had any of the apps ready to even look at this point.
Well, last week they unveiled Jetpack, which is one of the ones they've been working on, which is sort of like an ebook / mobile app hybrid. So, with an ebook, you typically expect just, text, images, but not a whole lot more. And some people have really been trying hard to develop in that space. I remember Push Pop Press, who made the Al Gore book, did some amazing things with that. Then they got bought out by Facebook. So, but there's a huge development opportunity there for somebody to do something different with ebooks rather than just scanning in text or digitizing text and putting it on the screen. So it looks like Jetpack is this hybrid model where you could have sort of a mobile application in and of itself, but deliver them as packages to students.
Right.
I've got a video here that I want to show that sort of gives an introduction to that, so I'll play that for us real quick.
There we go.
This is Jetpack. It's not just an ebook. It's a new way of publishing to mobile devices like iOS or Android. You can publish documents, images, or even custom interactivity with HTML5. Students can download the packs for active learning in the classroom or use it for light studying anywhere. Internet connection optional, while waiting for the bus, or in the science lab. This whole time, Jetpack captures meaningful analytics, helping you discover important connections. For more information, please visit purdue.edu/studio.
Over top of that, isn't it?
No.
I think so.
So that was just an introduction video to this one particular application, which again is called Jetpack. I went ahead and downloaded it. I noticed that on first glance, it looks like you have to be a Purdue student to log into it, but they do let you connect with Facebook, so people can use their Facebook account.
I did the same on my old generation iPhone.
Oh, wow.
Not this fancy new 4S. I just have the 4.
That's a shame.
I have to get my Feist off my screen right now and get to the Purdue apps.
Siri, can you tell Andy I'm sorry?
What does it say?
Yeah.
It should say something like "you should" or "please."
That's
do.
Not nice, Tim. Or Master.
Yeah,
I told it to call me Master, so it's got to
please
do
tell
at least
Gorgeous.
That much.
You sorry.
Here are some screenshots of it. So when you first go into the application, they've got after you've logged in anyway, they've got a catalog of these ebook packs. And so I guess the idea being with this that when you register for a class, if the class has any course content available in one of these formats, that it would be available to you here automatically.
Okay, so I'm downloading this to my phone. This JPER, Solving the Mystery of the Atacama nitrate deposits.
Mm-hmm. And I downloaded one here. This is actually another product that they're developing called Hot Seat. And so they've got a pack here with information about it. And so you tap download, and then it starts downloading, and then it's available for you to take a look at. And then you can launch the pack. And then what it is, so you've got your list of, I guess, chapters in here. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, like, I'll go through some of these. You know, here's the text on the screen. This is just basically very similar to an ebook. This is an example of a video embedded inside of it. And I didn't see a whole lot more other than that. Now, there was another one called MRI Viewer, and I've got that one up here. And this one actually looked like it had a little bit more interactivity. It talked about taking 2 fingers and moving it up and down to make the MRI change. I tried it, and I didn't get anything out of that.
So now, are you sending your iPhone stuff to there? Oh, okay.
No, unfortunately.
Wait, because I'm watching you and I'm watching the screen, and I'm thinking, all right, how's he mirroring that stuff on the...
I like to make the audience think I can, but no, that was
you'd like to make me think you can.
Those were just screenshots.
Okay. But it was... Boy, you were timing that very, very well.
Pro. I bring my A game to this, Andy.
You really do. I leave my A game way behind. So there's the Chug Chug Paleo Sol. There's some really... This is really some neat content, and I do like the way that it's formatted.
I guess the thing that I'm interested in is how are you going to be different from iBooks or from Kindle or things like that? Because I know with the standard ebook format, you can still embed those videos and do the thing. So how is it going to be different than just saying, here's some video and audio content inside of your ebook?
Yeah,
that doesn't seem too revolutionary. Now, the delivering aspect of it is great for Purdue, and I guess it could be good for other universities to be able to say, you register for a course, your Jetpack is going to load up with your packs, or however you want to use it.
Just don't let it go off prematurely.
But other than that, I'd like to see some more innovation in the content. That was one thing that really impressed me about Push Pop Press.
Right.
Was the interactivity within the space. So.
Well, and I wonder again whether it's going to be the kind of thing where, you know, the iBook EPUB format is the one that takes off and is the de facto standard. Because I mean, around here, college faculty have the standard course packs and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I wonder how, you know, what the standard for that's going to be and how that all fleshes out.
Or if it even needs to be a standard.
Or if it needs to be a standard. I would be in favor of an HTML5 standard.
Right. And they did mention in the video that in their press release that these are built on top of HTML5.
Yep.
So, as many things are these days.
Now, I didn't get to the MRI viewer, but...
Yeah.
So there were some other interesting, I guess, parts of the Purdue University project.
I should mention the website. If you go to purdue.edu/studio, you can see sort of an overview of all of these different projects they're working on. But what were some of the others?
There was just one called Double Take, which is kind of like the idea is tell your story from anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's kind of a
it's like mobile video editing, right?
Yeah,
something along those lines.
Well, I think it's kind of set up maybe along the lines of maybe Instagram, where wherever you are, you take your video, and it's as soon as you're done, it's immediately uploaded to the server somewhere, so that people can view what you've been doing out in the field and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you can also comment on the videos. You can evaluate the videos in ways, I guess. So, you know, just kind of the idea of video course assignments using this piece of software. There's another one called Mixable.
Tongue twister.
I don't know why Mixable shouldn't be that difficult to say.
That one, when I looked at that, was almost like a social network for students.
Yeah.
It looked like an area where you could, as a course, collaborate on things. And
it was kind of like the idea of a Twitter client and clicker system, where you'd be able to tweet, you'd be able to use your phone, text message, whatever, and then you'd have a series of questions or whatever that you could vote up, kind of like Dig.
No, you're thinking of a hot seat.
Oh, am I?
Aren't you?
Am I? Well, yeah. These do kind of all kind of mix together, but you might be right.
Name. Yeah, Mixable was just sort of a social network area for you, like in terms of like if you were going to use a Facebook group or something like that to collaborate as a class. But Hot Seat, that was another one that they've been working on for a while. It looks like on the site, and that was. Really interesting to me, especially the Educause just put an article out on it last week where they were talking about it. And for me, I would love for them to open up that kind of software because the back channel type thing is really interesting for me in the conference type setting and in the classroom as well. And especially when you integrate polling in there. CoverItLive.com is a website I've seen that's done that pretty well in terms of a web type app.
So Mixable basically, I guess, was more combining all your different media from different places. So like you'd have Dropbox file sharing, you'd have media, podcasts, and then these course connections, which we're still figuring this stuff out. Yeah. Tim just showed this to me, like half an hour ago. So I know nothing about this.
Are you implying that I wait till the last minute to give you a topic for the show?
Doing my best. No, I'm sure you have your topic at 7:30 in the morning, but you just choose to share it at 3:30 in the afternoon. No, it's fine. It's good that we revisit this stuff and kind of see and encourage Purdue to kind of keep working on this stuff because I think it will have some impact on what we're doing here.
Someone makes a good point in the chat that, it's funny when people sort of create their own social networks when there are already social networks that exist for people to use these things. Yeah. So it's like, we're going to create our own Facebook inside this own application specifically for Purdue students, and we'll hope that they'll all leave Facebook and come to this to do that thing. And it never quite works out that way, does it?
No, I mean, we've been going away from that model for a while now. I mean, these applications, I hope that this stuff gets opened up. Right. So that people can experiment in these spaces and are able to download these server installations to try to do some of the stuff on their own campuses. Yeah. And I haven't gone into it enough to find out whether that's their plan or what. And I don't know if you've seen enough of it to know that as well. But
not really. A lot of the stuff on the site right now it has that research and development feel to it where it's like not quite ready, but here's the stuff we're working on. And as a model for a department, I think that's really awesome. I'd love for DTLT to be doing more of that where it's just like, we personally blog about the things that we're working on, but to have that forward-facing site that says, here's some major defining projects that we're working on and goals to shoot forward for that, I think is really awesome.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to experiment in the space. And
of course, they're a larger university; they can scale to that level to where they can be building these mobile applications. I thought it was interesting that 4 out of the 5 of the applications there was one other called Signals that was more about analytical information for figuring out where your at-risk students are and how to identify them, and that one was less geared towards the mobile side. But Jetpack, Double Take, Mixable, and Hot Seat all were geared around mobile devices. Everything they were showing off, the screenshots and everything, they were showing cell phones, and that to me defines the era that we're living in.
Yeah, it really does. And there's also the work at like Abilene Christian where they're they're doing everything centered around mobile, and I think it is going to be the direction forward.
Well, if nothing else, because then it's not just in terms of like the clicker aspect, you're not having to buy all of this infrastructure to make something happen in your classroom. It's get out your phone and go to this website, or get out your phone and download this application. So it's removing that huge barrier of cost for the university, which is huge. It's an easy way of getting buy-in from your administrators by saying, we can develop this in-house and spend a whole lot less money than making our students or buying ourselves huge classroom sets of these clickers just to do one thing, polling.
Yeah, and I always think in the back of my mind, are we headed for another platform war about iOS versus Android or whatever the other mobile platforms are that get into the space, Windows Mobile and whatever it's called these days.
Yeah. Well, and there's some solutions around that. I mean, you can do. You're going to kill me for saying this, but you can go the Adobe Air route.
I knew it was going to be something.
Look, I mean, if you're talking rapid, quick development of something that's cross-platform, that could work okay. HTML5 is another one, as Noise Professor mentions in the chat room, which is great. You can make mobile web apps, and my concern there sometimes is just in terms of how many hooks you can get.
Sure.
It's getting a lot better, but it's sort of like if you want to take a picture and upload it, you're not going to be able to do that in a web app right now. So there's some functionality that you're not getting from a mobile web interface, but the cross-platform functionality is there.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again about the idea that I had always hoped that Apple would, instead of having something like iDVD in their iLife suite, have something like iDVD HTML5 or iHTML5, where it was something that you could create a rich media experience that was automatically exportable in an HTML5 format, so that you could put together an interactive EPUB or just a web page that would run on a web browser on a desktop or a web browser on a mobile device and that sort of thing, and be easily massageable between the two and compatible. So, and
I've got to give credit where credit's due. I knock on Adobe all the time for Flash and things like that, but they have a lot of beta software coming out now where it's HTML5 authoring tools. I feel like they've almost, if not been pushed by iOS, they've sort of seen the light that that's not going to change, that, if you're going to gear towards that platform, they're going to have to author their tools in HTML5, and so they've come out with a lot of beta products. Muse was one, specifically around web development, where it exported HTML5 compatible code. There was another one specifically for CSS3 animations.
Yeah, I think Adobe sees the writing on the wall for Flash. I'm hoping that Adobe in turn pushes Apple into this HTML5 publishing sphere, and makes it something that they should go after.
Sure.
And then I wonder if Pages on the Mac will evolve into something that does EPUBs.
But whether it could be an interactive type.
There could be an HTML5 export out of Pages. So we'll see how that goes, and maybe if Steve Jobs on his deathbed had that as a vision going forward, like he did with the Apple TV, apparently. Right. So
yeah, well, we can only hope.
We can only hope.
Well, thanks everybody for watching.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Thank you.